Hello everyone, man. Welcome back to TechBlock. Today we are going to be taking a look at the NETGEAR XR500 Nighthawk Pro Gaming Wi-Fi router. So this is a gaming router and I've been using it for roughly 2 months now. And before we even begin this little review of the router and my experience using it over the past 2 months, this router was sent to me for free thanks to NETGEAR, so massive shout out to them. They also sent me some merch, and if you do want to go check out my unboxing video of this router and all the merch that they sent me as well, I'll leave a link in the description down below to that video, or you can press on the card in the top right hand corner right there to check out the unboxing video. And if you want to buy one of these routers yourself after you watch this review, maybe you'll be convinced, you're like, damn, I need one of these. I'll leave a link in the description to the Amazon page of this router using Genius links. So if you're on the US, it'll take you to the Amazon.com store. If you're on the UK, it'll take you to the Amazon.co.uk store, and so on and so forth for all other countries that have Amazon. So, taking a quick look at the router packaging right here. Here's the front, here's the side. So the packaging of the router itself is like super fancy, very, very well done. And it's kind of like very aggressive, I suppose, as well. So there's the packaging of the router, but you know, this isn't the unboxing video. We already pretty much covered the packaging and the unboxing experience of this router. So today we're going to be reviewing it and my experience using it over the past 2 months. So before we actually begin reviewing the router itself, I do want to show you my current network setup and how I'm using it in my own setup. Right, so here we have my current networking setup and where it all begins. Right here we have a phone line extension. This is not a master socket that I've plugged the router into, unfortunately. The master socket in the house is actually on the other end of the house, so that kind of sucks. But this phone line extension here running from the master socket in the house is actually very good, as my internet speeds are still fantastic despite my router not being plugged into the master socket. So I've got a micro filter right here that's plugged into the phone line, and this converts the signal to a ADSL modem as well as your landline phone. Of course, I don't have a landline phone at the moment, so I'm not really using that other port, but I do have an ADSL modem, and that's how I would get internet. So moving on, I have my modem right here that is connected via a twisted pair ADSL cable right here. This is the modem that my ISP gave me. It's the BT Smart Hub, so I've currently got the BT Infinity 2 internet service. We'll be doing some speed tests on both of these devices right here later on in the video, but for now this is my BT Smart Hub router, and if you're wondering how exactly this is all set up, so I've got my ADSL cable running from my micro filter into my modem right here. So there's a little broadband icon right there, and my ADSL cable plugs into that. And I'm currently only using one port at the back of the modem, and that is port 1. So I've got a Cat7 Ethernet cable running from port 1 to the internet port at the back of the NETGEAR router. And I'm only using one Ethernet port from the back of the router at the moment, and that is going straight to my PC. So I believe I've got like a 5-meter Cat7 uplink Ethernet cable running from the router to my PC. And that cable unfortunately runs down here. I am planning on cable managing this and changing it all up in the future. The cable then continues on through this plastic cable channel along with like a million other cables, and it runs behind my radiator and subwoofer, and then all the cables run up my table leg and into the back of my PC right there. So that's my current networking setup with the router, modem, and my ADSL filter and stuff. I'll leave link to all the Ethernet cables, all the twisted pair ADSL cables, the micro filter, everything in my networking setup will be linked in the description down below as well, in case you do want to kind of like replicate my setup here. Let's go ahead and run a quick speed test on my PC. I'm currently connected to the Norwich server. The ping I'm guessing will probably be around 10, 6, 9 maybe. We'll see. There we go, 8 milliseconds ping. And then the download speeds are always very, very consistent. Same with the upload speeds. This will probably slowly climb up to probably 75-ish megabits per second. And then the upload speed will slowly creep up to roughly 19, probably near 18 and a half. Right, so those are my current internet speeds with the BT Infinity 2 internet service. I've been with the BT ISP for coming up to 2 years now, and so far it's been an awesome time. There's never really any internet faults, at least from my experience with them over the past 2 years. It's just been great. My internet never really cuts off, and the speeds are very consistent all the time as there's no throttling going on. These speeds are also the fastest I can get in my area. I can't upgrade to like a better ISP or like a faster internet connection, as where I live, there's only FTTC. And ADSL, I suppose. FTTC is a fiber to the cabinet here in the UK. So yeah, there's a green cabinet at the top of my road that has a fiber connection going to it, and from there, it's a copper connection going from that green cabinet, which is roughly 80 meters away from my home. Maybe one day they'll roll out FTTP all over the UK. They probably won't though, as it is very costly, I suppose, running fiber lines to everyone's homes. So at the moment, I'm just happy with my FTTC connection. In the past, my internet used to be much worse than this. The ping was roughly 35 ms, the download speed was like 6.5, and the upload speed was 0.6 or 0.5 megabits per second. It was awful. I think a couple times it took me like a full day to upload a YouTube video, and this was years ago, by the way. Now, it takes me like half an hour at most. Right, so now that we've taken a look at my internet speeds and my current networking setup, let's go ahead and take a look at the NETGEAR gaming dashboard powered by Duma OS. Right, so we hop on to routerlogin.com, and here you're going to want to type in your username and password, and you set all these details up in the router setup, and you can check out my unboxing video. I think I might have shown it there. Okay, so we're in the Duma OS right now. Here is the dashboard tab that we're currently on. We can see our internet status, our CPU usage of the router. This router does have 2 cores running at 1.7 gigahertz. The wireless status at the moment, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Both these bands are currently enabled. You can see the network name, password, and the channels that it's currently operating on here. And you can edit all of these settings in the settings area there, but we'll cover that later on. Here, this is probably one of the coolest features of the router. You can have a network map and all of the devices that are currently online, offline, and on what bands they're currently on, and whether they're like via LAN, you know, it's awesome. So if we begin from the modem right here, we have our modem icon right here, and we go from modem via an Ethernet cable to the router, which is the NETGEAR one. Then from the router, we can see what devices are currently connected via the 2.4 gigahertz band, and that's my HS100 smart plug, my smart light bulb from TP-Link, my iPhone, and that's just been disconnected. We also have a smart plug, a surge protector, then a bunch of other stuff here, and currently through LAN is my PC. That is the only device connected via Ethernet, which is my PC right here. Then if you go over to the 5 gigahertz band, I believe that's my Amazon Echo, and then apparently we have an unnamed device here as well. Not entirely sure what that is, probably like a smart plug or something. And then we can even see all the devices that were online on the network at one point, but they are currently offline. So we have my friend's MacBook, my other friend's MacBook, my friend's iPhone, my mom's laptop, and then, you know, just a whole bunch of other stuff. This is probably my favorite feature of the router, at least for me, as I can see like a visual representation of like what's connected to my network, like on what band it's on, and you know what's been on my network in the past and stuff. And let's say, for example, you suspect that maybe like one of your neighbors is stealing your Wi-Fi for whatever reason. You could find their device on, let's say, the 5 gigahertz band right here. Let's say it's the unnamed device here. I'm not even too sure what this is, but if you don't want it on your network, you could block the connection entirely, or you could even delete it. Blocking it, I'm guessing, will forever disable it. So whenever they try to connect to your network, they'll be blocked and nothing will work. So if you do find a device that's like stealing your Wi-Fi and you don't want it to, just block it and you'll be all good. On the network monitor tab, you can see the bandwidth usage per device. So you can see the upload and download speed usage of every single device on your network and what's using it the most. And then of course at the top here we also have the total usage tab for upload and download. It's awesome. And over here we currently have a graph showing you the current network usage. Moving on, we have system information. This is also just a general tab mainly about like the router. Nothing too exciting here, I suppose. Once again, the CPU usage, the RAM usage of the router, what's currently using it. We have currently 1/4 gigabyte free. We have flash usage, no, just a bunch of stuff here. I'm guessing most of these things you don't really care too much about. If we go over to the quality of service, this is where you can prioritize traffic on your network per device once again. So if we scroll all the way down here, we have traffic prioritization right here. So I've currently set up my PC to prioritize the source engine. Now you may be wondering, what is the source engine? So if we press on device, if we select my PC, for example, we press next, then we can select a game right here. So there's World of Warcraft, the Warcraft 3 Unreal Engine, which is PUBG. Source engine goes under the CSGO, Dota 2. I'm guessing most of the Valve games, to be honest. We have Skype, Overwatch, League of Legends, Guild Wars, and a bunch of other games. And if for whatever reason you don't find your game on here, you could go over to the Advanced tab and type in the ports of the game that you want to prioritize traffic for. So let's say you want to prioritize Fortnite traffic, you'd have to Google the Fortnite ports and then type them into here. So over here we have the bandwidth allocation for upload as well as download. Now we can adjust this per device. So my PC is right here. So what I could do is I could drag the prioritization, or I guess the bandwidth allocation, primarily to my PC. So I could take like 100% of the bandwidth, I suppose, and prioritize all the traffic to me first. And I could just press update distribution, and after a few seconds this will update. There we go. Up here we also have the anti-buffer bloat. Now I've currently set mine up to 90% download and 90% upload. Now what this will do is prevent random ping spikes in your games. So let's say, for example, you're playing CSGO at the moment and someone in the other room launches Netflix and suddenly your ping shoots up to a couple hundred ms and you're kind of screwed because you're going to be lagging and you're not going to be performing as well as you would be. So enabling anti-buffer bloat will prevent random ping spikes in your game and allow you to play at a constantly low ping all the time, no matter what's going on the network. This is a very unique and useful feature of this router, and it's one of the main selling points of it. So if you do have a lot of people on your network and you constantly experience ping spikes, this router might be a good investment, as it might prevent random ping spikes and allow you to constantly have a good ping no matter what's going on elsewhere in your network. Now let's go ahead and cover the Geo-Filter tab. So I'm guessing this is primarily for people who play on consoles, and you can restrict your map right here to like how far away you connect to a server, I guess. So let's say like you're playing Call of Duty and you press like search game, I guess, and you can adjust the distance here to how far away the server will be. So this feature here might be very useful if, let's say, like you're in the UK and you don't want to be connecting to like a US or let's say like an Australian server, as if you do connect to one of those servers, your ping is going to be through the roof. But enabling this feature and setting the distance to, let's say, only Europe, there we go. Your problem has been solved. You will never, ever be connected to a server outside of the range that you've set on this Geo-Filter map. And finally, let's go ahead and cover the USB storage and the Ready Share storage that I've actually been using myself, and I'm very glad it's something that the router supports. So if we head over to my router, I'll plug in a 1 terabyte external hard drive and we'll be able to access it and set it all up on my PC within seconds. Right, so here we have my hard drive. I'm just going to plug it into USB port 1 right there. Right, so if we go into File Explorer and we go onto this PC, go onto WD 1 terabyte, and here we are, we're on the network. And what I can do is I can go over to like an old video and I can show you a quick speed test of like the local network. So I've just copied a video file from my network and I'm currently pasting it onto my SSD, and it's transferring it at around 45 megabytes per second over the network. So that's fantastic speeds right there, as it is like a local network, so you're not really limited by like your internet connection, I suppose. And there we go, we've just transferred a half gig file from the network drive to my SSD. I'm going to transfer that file back onto the network drive, and as you can see, the transfer speeds are even higher now, ranging at around 60 megabytes per second to transfer the file back onto the hard drive. And that was all being done over the network. Now let's go ahead and cover the Wi-Fi speeds as well as the app that this router has. And yes, it does have its own dedicated app. If we download the Nighthawk app on the App Store, and it's also available on Android as well, right here it'll connect us to the router as long as we're on the Wi-Fi network of the router. And we can check out the Wi-Fi settings, the device lists, so we can check out what devices are currently on our network. And then in the app, you can even access the Wi-Fi networks tab, and then let's say select 2.4 gigahertz, press on share Wi-Fi with QR code, and then whenever you have any guests come to your house and they're like, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password? You can pull out this QR code, they can scan it, and they'll be on the network in seconds without having to type in any password or even find the network in the Wi-Fi list. So this is an awesome feature, very, very simple, but it can be very useful, and you can even print that QR code and stick it on a wall if you want to, and that's actually what I've ended up doing. There's a little QR code right next to my light switch. So if anyone comes around and you want to connect to the Wi-Fi network, just scan the QR code and boom, you're on the Wi-Fi network. Let's go ahead and cover the Wi-Fi speeds and the Wi-Fi performance and the Wi-Fi range, I suppose. So we're currently maybe like 2 meters away from the router, and I'm gonna hit go on the speed test app, and this will probably be, yeah, there we go, 10 millisecond ping over Wi-Fi. The download speed 69, a couple megabits per second lower than we had on the wired connection, and then the upload speed coming up to around 18 megabits per second there. So very, very good Wi-Fi speed on the router when you're around 2 meters away from it, when there's no obstacles in the way. And that's kind of what you expect, really. But if I go as far away as I can in my home, let's see how the Wi-Fi performance does then. So follow me as I go as far away as I can from my home, and this is kind of going to be like not really a house tour, to be honest, as you're not really going to see anything at all. But we're going to go over into my mum's bedroom, I suppose. Just get as far away as we can. Right, so we're in the other corner of the house right now. I'm going to run another speed test, so let's just hit go, and I can show you how good the Wi-Fi performance is. There we go, still 10 millisecond ping. This speed is still the exact same. We're as far away as we can be. Like, there's so many walls, obstacles, doors in the way. It doesn't really care at all. So the Wi-Fi speeds of this router are absolutely amazing. I have been outside on the other end of my road and I still have Wi-Fi. Now that's probably because the router is on my windowsill and it's kind of like projecting the Wi-Fi outside, but that's still fantastic. You can be so far away from your home and you can still have Wi-Fi. I mean, if that's not a good router, I don't know what is. So if in your home you have really, really bad Wi-Fi speeds and the Wi-Fi range just sucks. This router will solve just about all those problems, as the Wi-Fi performance is probably one of the best things about the router. It's just really, really good. Like, the first time I got it, I was very, very impressed. Like, I walked outside one time and I still had Wi-Fi. I'm like, wait a minute, do I actually have Wi-Fi? I ran a speed test and it was more or less the exact same speeds. I mean, that's just great, really. But I think that's going to be it for my review of the router. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I hope you've learned some things about the router, the Geo-Filter, the quality of service thing, and my favorite feature, the network map, and seeing what devices are currently like on your network and stuff. I think that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. A massive shout out to NETGEAR for hooking me up with this amazing router right here. I've had an awesome time using it, and I will continue to use this router for probably many years to come. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Goodbye.